Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to Vinny's Witching Hour. I'm your host, the Witch of the Most, Vinny. Tonight, I want to talk about some urban legends. What is your state or your town urban legend? Let me know at the comments below. Now let's get into it. We're going to do 3 states with 3 creepy urban legends. The first state I see is Alabama. Abbeville, Alabama. They have this legend that's called Hugging Molly. Okay, I was reading a little bit of this. This is a little creepy. This is a story that parents would tell their children to keep them from breaking their curfew, I guess. How it goes, and I'm getting this information off the internet. It is from the legend of Hugging Molly from Abbeville. It's on their website. It's huggingmollies.com legend. It's pretty wicked. How it goes is that there has been many versions of Hugging Molly, but one description stands out. It states that it states her as a giant of a woman, about 7 feet tall, and as big as round as a bale of cotton. Now, I don't know how big a round of bale of cotton is, but it sounds pretty big. Some says her spirit still walks the street of Abbeville late in the evening, sweeping her black skirt back and forth as she walks the streets. If she happens upon you, she chases you down, gives you a huge hug, and screams right in your ear. A native of Abbeville, Jimmy Rain, and grew up hearing the legend of Hugging Molly. For him and his friends, she was as real as the trees that rustled in the wind at night. Crazy. He states, anybody who grew up in Abbeville grew up knowing the legend of Hugging Molly. Jimmy says, if your mother or your dad didn't want you out after dark, they'd tell you Hugging Molly would get you, and you believed it too. Well, anyways, one night Jimmy and his good friend Tommy heard the story from Tommy's dad. He told them he knew Hugging Molly was real because she had sprung from the shadows and hugged him one night. They hugged him one night, and they were convinced of this story. So to this day, hearts beat faster as the moon rises in the sky over Abbeville, Alabama. Hugging Molly, dressed in black, could show up anytime. So, if you're ever in Abbeville, Alabama, don't be caught late at night, because Hugging Molly is going to get you. Now on to my second story. This one is the Carter brothers of New Orleans, Louisiana. This might be a little lengthy, y'all, so sorry. So the Carter brothers, back in the 1930s, their names was Wayne and John, and they lived in they were living somewhat what seemed a normal life. The brothers made a living in southern city of New Orleans, working each day on the docks where they handled the fresh seafood off the boats. Yummy. I like seafood. I lived in Shreveport, Louisiana for 10 years, and I missed the crawfish. Few people knew the dark side of their lives, the hardships they had that they faced, including the fact that the brothers were not human. They were considered by the town vampires. Okay, yeah, that's a little creepy. Well, it goes on. I'm reading this, and it goes on that early morning in 1932, a young girl walked out onto what is now St. Anne Street. She was covered in blood with her wrist that has been slit. Authorities rushed to the young girl and took her to the nearest hospital. Upon further investigation, the girl stated the cuts were made by their Carter brothers. They were feeding off her blood. And they were vampires. They said, it goes on to state that the police rushed to the Carter brothers' house and broke the door down. Nobody was home. As they continued the investigation upstairs, they found 15 more bodies scattered across the room, each with similar cuts on the wrist. Many were pronounced dead at the scene, while 3 others survived, 4 including the little girl. Because the Carter brothers were not home yet, the police decided to set up a trap for the men. Police set up 10 of their biggest officers at the house to ambush their Wayne and John Carter. When they arrived they did. It's important to remember that the Carter brothers were not very big. They were 5'6" and at max, and they weighed less than 160 pounds each. Yet somehow the brothers overtook all the police officers, knocking 4 of them out before leaping off the top floor balcony. They gracefully landed to the road below and ran off quicker than lightning. A feat impossible for an average man. Where was I? Yeah. Oh, while very strong, the brothers were not smart. They decided to go to work the next day. Upon arrival, the police were there and arrested them. A few days later, they were found guilty of murder and hanged in the town square. As talk of vampires grew, the town folks asked that the bodies be exhumed and investigated. They wanted to know why the brothers wished to drink blood. But when the coffins were raised after only a few weeks, they were found to be empty. Locals believe the brothers never truly died and moved on to other cities to commit more of their heinous crimes. It's said around this time, on an annual bias around Mardi Gras. So all you witchlings out there celebrating Mardi Gras, please be aware the brothers return. It is said that the brothers return to get more victims for their bloodlusts. And this story. So if you're in New Orleans, don't walk those streets alone. Have a buddy or have a group, and beware of something. And it's where I got this one was a website that said it's called Try to Scare Me. So yeah, that was pretty cool. The next one is a legend in Oklahoma. Now, this one is in Beaver, Oklahoma. It's called the Shamans Portal. I'm going to read as much as I can, and hopefully I get most of the wording correct. I do apologize if I butcher any words. Now, let's get to this. Okay, this is located in Oklahoma's Panhandle region on U.S. Highway 270 in Beaver, Oklahoma, Beaver Dunes Park. It sits on what is lovingly referred to as no man's land, or the neutral strip, which encompasses over 300 miles of Oklahoma's extreme northwestern region. It's all drenched in paranormal. The dunes have been home to enough human disappearance, secret military excavations, and Men in Black sightings to earn it the title Oklahoma's Bermuda Triangle. Yeah. Oklahoma's got a Bermuda Triangle too, y'all. I'm pretty sure every state does. We'll get into that when we on the next podcast, on the next video. It all began in the 1500s when the Spanish explorer Coronado, when I'm thinking it's Cartica, I can't think of it. Cartica. It's Spanish explorers. Men vanished mysteriously from the dunes in a blast of strange green light. The Spanish explorer, one of the explorers described the phenomena in his diary, the work of the devil. Yeah. Green fog, green light, getting lost in the Bermuda Triangle, in Oklahoma's Bermuda Triangle. Yeah. That's not to say he wasn't forewarned, however. The Native American guides who had aided him so far in this journey warned the Spanish explorer and his men not to wander into the dunes. They said it was an evil place, though the Spanish explorer and his men, lust for New World gold, spurred him. New World gold. It appears the guides were not far wrong. The Shamans Portal title was coined by these very natives, and the place has been suspected of a string of disappearance from that fateful expedition to this very day, to now. And that was, what did I say that date was? $1500s. That was from the 1500s, and it's now, and it's still cause for that portal. The Shaman's Portal is known for the disappearances and everything. As time went on, less and less of these disappearances have been verified, and none, in fact, proven to have any connections to the alleged portal or Oklahoma's Bermuda Triangle. Through the combination of the history and superstitions, there is enough to deter many of the straying too far in. Some locals report that they have encountered military excavations, sites under the cover of darkness. Dr. Mark Thatcher, an Oklahoma State University archaeologist, spent 3 years in the 90s studying the area before suited individuals with military credentials shut his operation down. I wonder why. So, is the area a portal to another dimension, as the natives believe, or could there be some incredibly to the electromagnetic disturbance recorded in the dunes? Some say that an ancient alien spaceship is buried deep below, while others summarize that the explorers were merely incoherent or incinerated by the green lighting, or fell victim to some heinous Native American magic meant to protect the gold the greedy Europeans sought after. Coronado didn't heed the warnings, and whatever happened to his men, they were gone for good. Between sudden disappearance and hardened government suits, the scientifical unexplainable phenomena in the air and soil, this may be one to miss on your next outing. Don't go to the Oklahoma's Bermuda Triangle in Beaver, Oklahoma. You'll get lost and you won't ever be found again. So that was 3 states and 3 creepy urban legends. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Vinny's Witching Hour. I've been your witching host, Vinny, and to all my witchlings out there, have a wicked good night.